Investment realization in Indonesia has been high despite global uncertainties, and the country has shown resilience to global shocks on the back of a significant increase in foreign and domestic investment.
The Ministry of Investment, the Investment Coordinating Board or BKPM, reported recently that investment realization from January to September 2024 reached 1,261 trillion, about 81.35 billion US dollars, as foreign investment continued its upward trend in the country. The investment realization during the first 9 months of this year already exceeded the target stated in the government's long-term goals. However, it still accounts for 76% of the 1,650 trillion rupiah target set by then-President Joko Widodo, Investment Minister Chairman of BKPM Rosan Roeslani said recently. But with the upward trend in third quarter, the minister is optimistic that the target set by former President Jokowi could be met. In fact, for 2025, the ministry has even set a higher target despite rising global uncertainties caused by global tension and the United States' protectionist trade policy following the re-election of President Donald Trump. Investment Minister Rosan unveiled investment target of 1,906 trillion rupiah for 2025 during the 2024 National Investment Coordination Meeting in Jakarta on Wednesday, December 11th, as the target is a 19% increase from the previous year's target. Roeslani underlined that the higher target is set in line with a medium-term investment strategy to meet President Prabowo Subianto's goals of achieving an annual economic growth of 8% in 5 years. In order to achieve the growth target, Indonesia will require investment totaling 13,528 trillion over the next 5 years, with an annual growth of 16.75%. Commenting on the 2025 investment target, many economic observers consider it as too ambitious, but the government is optimistic that the target is still achievable considering the rising interest of global companies to invest in Indonesia. Foreign investors' strong interest was seen during President Prabowo's recent overseas trips, during which he secured investment commitment and business deals worth 18.5 billion US dollars. During his first ever foreign trips in November, President Prabowo visited China, the United States, Peru, Brazil, and London. In Beijing, Indonesian and Chinese companies signed business deals worth 10 billion. While during the trip in London, the president took home business deals worth 8.5 billion US dollars from British investors. Unfortunately, despite the steady increase in foreign investment, Indonesia is still unable to compete with other ASEAN countries such as Vietnam, Malaysia, and Thailand to attract global technology giants. In 2029, for example, 33 Chinese companies relocated to Vietnam due to the US-China trade war, which led to a shift in production centers out of China. None of them moved to Indonesia. Vietnam has become a key manufacturing location for Apple, Samsung, and other companies. Vietnam's proximity to China, competitive labor costs, and free trade agreements make it a good place to reduce production costs and export to other countries. The government certainly needs to be proactive and innovative to make Indonesia an investment destination at least as good as Vietnam. There should be a change in attitude in dealing with foreign investors. If not, we will be left behind.
Investment Minister, Head of Investment Coordinating Board BKPM, Rosan Roeslani, has recently unveiled a 16% increase in investment target to 1.906 trillion rupiah for 2025, despite the rising global uncertainties. And so today we have our guest, Bapak Andry Satrio Nugroho, the head of the Center for Industry, Trade and Investment at INDEF. He will share his views on potential challenges and opportunities that might be faced to meet this target. Hello, Pak Andry, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Thank you, Pak Andry, and also a Happy New Year to you, and welcome back to Economic Outlook. Pak Andry, the investment realization during the first 9 months was encouraging, despite the global uncertainties that's been going on. Do you think that the government 1.650 trillion rupiah target for 2024 could be achieved?
Yeah, the fact that investment realizations in the first 9 months of the year was encouraging indicates that the momentum is already in place. This suggests that despite global uncertainties, Indonesia has been able to maintain steady investment flows, potentially due to domestic economic stability, and continue interest in key sectors like downstreaming industries and manufacturing. And yes, the 1,615 trillion investment target set for 2024 is on track to be achieved, reflecting the resilience on the economy despite the global uncertainties.
Now, Pak Andry, you mentioned that our local economy seems to be stable and is doing well. However, the global uncertainties seems to be getting even worse this year. We don't know what's going to happen, but do you think that this will affect the foreign direct investment into Indonesia? Will this discourage investors from investing in Indonesia?
Worsening global uncertainties will likely affect our foreign direct investment. Factors such as interest rates policies and in developed countries, geopolitical tensions, and protectionist trade policies can reduce the capital for the international investments. These conditions may lead investors to adopt a more cautious approach, so prioritizing safer and more stable markets. However, Indonesia can mitigate the impact by strengthening its domestic economic fundamentals and positioning itself as an attractive investment destinations. So there are key measures include enhancing ease of doing business through regulatory reforms, and second, offering tax incentives or other financial benefits for foreign investors, and promoting projects that attract long-term investors. So Indonesia's large domestic market, growing middle class, and resource wealth remain a significant advantage that can help cushion the impact of global uncertainties.
Of course, and that's exactly what our hopes is for the year 2025. Now, looking forward, the government aims to invest 1,906 trillion rupiah in the year of 2025. This is a 15.50% increase from the 2024 target. Now, given the rising global uncertainties, also the geopolitical tension that you mentioned previously, do you think that this target is still achievable?
Yeah, achieving the 1,906 trillion target for 2025 is really ambitious, but not impossible. The 15.5% increase reflects the government's confidence in Indonesia growth trajectory and its alignment with the medium-term goal of 8% annual economic growth. So this goal hinge on boosting investment across various sectors. So while global uncertainties pose a challenge, Indonesia ongoing efforts to diversify its economy and attract investors to non-traditional sectors like renewable energy and the digital economy could, I think, help offset the risk. Additionally, strengthening bilateral trade partnership and participating in actively in global initiatives like BRICS or OECD, for instance, can drive more FDI. But however, achieving the target will depend on how well the government mitigate risk associated with the global economic tensions, including the protectionist policies from the United States and Europe also, the future market volatility. This is we need to be cautious. So if Indonesia continues to improve its investment climate by offering incentives, easing bureaucratic processes, and ensuring, of course, the political stability, I think the 2025 target could achieve.
It seems that we have a lot of things that we need to improve, and one of them is to diversify the investment coming into Indonesia. At the moment, the downstream industry in the mining sector seem to continue to dominate the new investment in 2024. Do you think that this industry is still attractive to our investors?
Downstreaming mining industries remain attractive to investors. Indonesia's abundant natural resources, particularly in nickel, in copper, and other critical minerals, provide a competitive advantage in downstreaming processing. So the government's policy of mandating more value-added processing domestically, like to build smelters, for instance, and processing in Indonesia, instead of exporting raw materials, I think this continues to create investment opportunities. So we know that the global demand for electric vehicle, for instance, and renewable energy technology has heightened the importance of mineral like nickel and copper and also bauxite. So further boosting the attractiveness of downstream investment. So I think by fostering the collaboration with international technology companies and encouraging sustainable mining practices, I think Indonesia can ensure continued investor interest in these sectors.
All right. Now, apart from this mining sector that continues to dominate the investment in Indonesia, in your opinion, what other industrial sectors that can still be promising for our investors?
Apart from mining, I think several industrial sectors in Indonesia show promising growth potential. So we know that renewable energy, with a global shift towards to green energy, Indonesia's geothermal, solar, and hydropower sectors, I think, offer vast opportunities. And then from the digital economy and technology sectors, of course, Indonesia's growing internet penetrations and digital transformations drive investment in e-commerce, in fintech, and also in the data centers. And also we know that the manufacturing sectors, the government's push for industrializations, particularly in automotive, in textile, in electronics. This continues to attract the foreign manufacturers. And lastly, the tourism and hospitality sectors. So, as a global travel recovers from the pandemic, we know that the Indonesia's unique natural and cultural heritage provide opportunities for tourism-related investment. So by supporting these sectors, I think with incentives and infrastructure improvements, I think Indonesia can diversify the investment base and reduce reliance on mining and traditional sectors.
All right, now on the sideline, Pak Andry, recently the US tech giant Apple have said that they will invest another $1 billion in manufacturing facilities. We're just wondering how long the company will take to realize such a large investment commitment here in Indonesia. And also, on top of that, you know, in comparison to other countries such as Vietnam, the giant companies are investing a lot in that neighboring country. What can we learn from that so we can also grow and follow Vietnam's footsteps?
Yeah, this is good news, but we know that the Apple's 1 billion investment is long-term projects, and they may take 3 until maybe 5 years to fully realize. And this timeline typically includes the site selections, the constructions of manufacturing facilities, equipment facilitations, and maybe workforce training. So the scale and complexity of Apple's operations suggests that the company will gradually increase the production capacity. So regarding the labor absorptions, I think Apple investment could create thousands of direct jobs in manufacturing and maybe in engineering. So from the indirect employment will be generating across supporting industries like logistic and retail sectors. And if we look at the Vietnam or Malaysia, uh, well, Indonesia should focus on the leveraging its large domestic markets, abundant natural resource and strategic locations, rather than drawing the comparisons to countries like Vietnam or Malaysia, because we with over 270 million peoples and growing middle class, I think Indonesia offers significant long-term investment potential in sectors such as manufacturing, digital services, and infrastructure. But we know that there's, I think, 4 points that we underline to compete with the Vietnam and Malaysia for tech investment. First, the regulatory simplifications. So we have to reducing the bureaucratic and red tape and accelerating permit licensing for foreign investors. And infrastructure development, of course. So we need to investing in industrial zones, especially in the tech and digital industrial zones. Tax incentives, of course, we have to offering tax breaks, tax holidays, custom exemptions, financial incentives, and political stability. We know that building the investor confidence by maintaining political stability, upholding the rule of law. This is ensuring we have to ensuring the policy consistency. And last, I think this is the important part is skilled workforce. So we need to expanding education and training in engineering, in IT, and manufacturing. So to ensure a steady supply of skilled labor. So we need to addressing these areas so Indonesia can create a more attractive investment environment, I think, to encourage the technology giants to expand their presence in the country.
Right. Thank you for all that very thorough information. There's a lot that we can do to increase our competitive advantage. Thank you so much, Bapak Andry Satrio Nugroho, for your information and sharing your knowledge with us today. See you again next time on Economic Outlook.